Hi, it is Tuesday, March 30th. Welcome to the first garden tour of 2021. So this is going to be more of a pre-season tour. It's going to be showing you the seedlings that are growing, some of the perennials that are coming back, the garlic that's coming up, so much garlic, it's really exciting. And like a bunch of things that are planted but not really growing yet, and some of our plans for the year because we got some really cool garden landscaping plans coming up that are starting. So yeah, let's get to that. I got my tea and let's walk around and look at plants. Okay. Alright, so the first thing is to show you the seed starting extravaganza, which is ridiculous this year. This is a shelf I have in my craft room with a whole bunch of grow lights, and I got a fan going on the plants. Normally it's on, and I adjusted to different heights so that all of them can get some wind on different days, but I have it off right now while we chat. So let's look at things so far. So on the top here we have asparagus. I just threw all of the seeds I had, all the asparagus seeds I had, into pots to start growing because I figured if it takes them 3 years to go to get to somewhere useful, I will just hopefully find spots to shove them, and if I don't, I'll give them away to other people, and let's get this asparagus train going because it's going to be a few years. And then this row, this stuff is mostly going to be going hardened off in like a week here and going outside, so this is a lot of the early spring frost hardy stuff. So this is a lot of kale, collards. There's 6 different types of kale. I'm trying this here. I love kale. We got a few cabbages. The nasturtiums aren't going out right now. Those will stay in. And then oh, can we get him in the camera? We have a baby Groot planter. Peter bought me this several years ago, and I'm finally planting him. He's got green onions in him. So yeah, there's green onions and leeks. That's these types of things. So yeah, lots of fun things there. And this is the pepper and eggplant and basil area. So lots of peppers and eggplants and basil. 6 different types of peppers, I believe. 3 sweet peppers and 3 hot peppers, if I remember correctly. And then down here is a few more basil and all the tomatoes that are coming up. Yay, tomatoes. So that's this. And about, like I mentioned, next week, most of this shelf will start getting hardened off and going out. And then the week after that, once those are out and being planted, then I will be starting the cucumbers and various squash in here. Hoping to grow green zucchini, yellow zucchini, acorn squash, and pumpkin this year. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so let's head outside. And now we're in the backyard, and look at that awesome studio building. Peter's in there working right now. That's his office. It works great. So right in front of his office, you can kind of see that little mound of dirt. We're going to be planting a rain garden in there to catch the rain that's coming off the roof. We got our firewood storage, we got the fire pit we built last year. Just the yard so far. Alright, so new plans. You can see these new pavers that I put in right here. Those are going to have 4 whiskey barrels with giant posts in them, and that's going to have 2 reasons. One, it's going to have a trellis on it, and I'm going to plant like beans and then some herbs down at the bottom to grow up a trellis. And then the second reason, the biggest reason for those, is that they are going to have, the big tall posts are going to have clotheslines that go to the house. So we will finally have an exterior clothesline. This is one of my new vertical planters. It's called a green stalk planter, and there's 30 different pockets, and you pour water into the reservoir on top, and it waters all of the pockets evenly every time you do that. It's really cool. So I have 3 of these. I'll show you the other 2 in a bit. This one, I bought bare root strawberry plants and planted those, and those are already getting some nice new growth. I planted these 2 weeks ago maybe, I think. I don't know. I forget. And then a couple of the pockets I ran out of strawberry plants. So this one has spinach in it. And that one hasn't started growing yet. I'll plant something else in there if it doesn't germinate. Down here we have our mint. The peppermint is starting to come up again. You can see little flecks of peppermint all over through here. The spearmint has not come up yet. I'd be kind of surprised if mint died, but if it did, I'll get another plant at the nursery in at the end of April. These two have not germinated yet, but these are gonna be hopefully fennel bulb. I really love roasted fennel. I think it's delicious, but apparently fennel does not play well with other plants. Other plants don't like to go around it, so it is living in containers. Let's head out. Oh, so there's gonna be the whiskey barrels here, and then this plot right here where the garlic was planted last year is gonna be 2 more garden beds. We're gonna be building raised beds here in a few weeks. And you know, everybody loves a cat, right? Hey girl. Alright, so those raised beds over there are gonna be all of the squash. Alright, so this is the asparagus bed. On this side over here is the asparagus that I planted from seed last year. I just threw some seeds in the ground and they are growing. It was really exciting to see most of them coming back. You can see them right there. You can see one right there and one right there. Little tiny asparagus popping up. So there's a few of those. Here's some more you can see right there. And then on this side, I have some, I just planted last week some bare root asparagus plants that I bought. So those have a nice head start. And then over here we have some kale that I grew that were in here from last year. I cut them back pretty well last year, so they're starting to poof up again. And then along these trellises I just planted peas. So we'll see if we can get a nice pea harvest before the beans go in the beginning of June. If not, oh well, experimenting. And then over here I just sowed a bunch of chard, spinach, and arugula. Nothing is popping up yet. Most of the seed sowing just got finished a few days ago. And then the herb bed, a lot of herbs are coming up just fine. We have the sorrel, that lemony leafy green I love so much, it comes back every year. Chives. We have some sage popping up. We have thyme and lemon thyme, parsley, and oregano. And then over here are a few kale plants that struggled last year. This area of the bed doesn't get much sunlight, so these guys are very slow growing. I don't know. They might get replaced by something that can handle more shade. Who knows? Tomatoes will be going here later. So here's the 2 other green stock planters. So this bed over here next to the house is going to be all tomatoes. One of the trellises is up, the other trellis is going up. So I'm going to try this year having all of the tomatoes in one bed. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully the tomatoes on the back half won't get shaded too heavily out by the ones in the front half. So this is one of the green stalks right now. I planted it out with a bunch of leafy greens, mostly arugula, spinach, chard, collards. I have a couple of little herb seed mixes that I got. I have no idea what's in them, but I figured what the heck, I'd plant them. I'm trying something new this year. I'm trying Yod Fa, which is, it's in this row. That is it Chinese broccoli? It's supposed to be really easy to grow and be like a mix between asparagus and broccoli. I have no idea if it'll work out or not, but normal broccoli is really hard to grow, so I'm going to try and grow this as a broccoli substitute, and we will see if Peter likes it or not. He's the big broccoli fiend in the house, but he doesn't like asparagus, so gambling. Some of these plants are starting to come up. You can see the arugula starting to peek its little head up here. Oh, and we have some kohlrabi here on the top row. Let's see. I never tried to grow that either. Over here we have mostly radishes and spinach and some empty pockets. A lot of the kale from indoors will be going into these empty pockets here. This bed will hold peppers, but peppers don't go in until late May or early June usually, because you really don't want them in until there are no nights below 50 degrees if possible. Peppers will stunt, which is something I learned last year, and my peppers didn't really grow that well last year. So I'm going to try to really baby them and not bring them out until June probably this year. So this bed got planted with a bunch of other things. Let's see, we have arugula, more spinach, more chard, more turnips. I'm trying to grow turnips for the first time. I love turnips. Really excited to see if those go. We got some radish, some chard, some collards, bunch of different beets, kohlrabi, and then another yod pot. So this is gonna be interesting because this is just like one line, one tiny little row of like 5 or 6 plants of all of these different kinds. So I don't know, it'll be an interesting experiment. And then over here, oh, so I'm really proud of this. This is one. There's been a lot of prep work for this garden the last 2 or 3 weeks here, and one of them was I moved these carrot boxes. I call them the carrot boxes because they originally were going to be for carrots, and they will be for carrots in the fall more so, but carrots don't grow as well in the spring. So they were lined up over here, and I moved them to this edge so that we could put this deer fencing up, lined up with the fence in the backyard. So this is keeping the deer off, and I'm really proud of this gate and everything I managed to build here. So it should keep the deer out, and it doesn't look bad. I like that it looks deliberate and clean. And here's the other kitty. Hey, Kobold. Kobold. Yeah, hi. Yeah. So right now in here we have some more radishes, and I actually planted a little tiny row of green onion seeds right on the edge. I don't know. And then we have some beets and kohlrabi, some rooted parsley, and some daikon. So I know daikon and rooted parsley are more of a fall, winter, like overwintering, and then early spring plant, so I have no idea if they're gonna grow. But anyway, you know, trying things. And then let's just keep walking. So this is, I really wanted to build a gate that was both functional and pretty easy, so I like how this only takes a couple seconds to move around. It's taking me longer right now because I'm fuddling with the camera and some tea. Can't not have tea though, right? Alright, so you can see from this direction, this looks, I don't know, I think it looks really nice. For fencing, you know, entirely made of non-permanent and materials that I can use for something else if I decide I don't like it. So over here, you can see I already got some giant piles of wood chips to do things with later in the backyard, and then the garlic bed. So this front open patch here will have a lot of those leeks and green onions. Seedlings from inside will get planted out and planted here. And then underneath all of this very heavy mulch, which I will be lightening up the mulch layer and fertilizing this, doing this early spring fertilizing when I plant the stuff in there. This is all garlic, and you can see it is coming up gorgeously. You see all of those green stalks there in a nice little grid. That is all of my garlic. Yeah, I planted this garlic last November, I believe, maybe late October, I forget. Late October, early November, something like that. I went a little nuts with garlic this year because it worked last year. So this year I bought 13 different varieties, and I have 414 cloves of garlic. Last year I grew about 45, I want to say 44 cloves of garlic. This year, 414. It's gonna be fun. Alright, it's getting really windy. Hopefully you can hear this. But yeah, that is the tour. I'm really excited to hopefully have a lot of things popping out of the soil and growing here in the next 2 weeks. And so many more things this year. With those, like, all of the things that we had built last year, the back beds, the carrot boxes, the new green stock planters, all of those are new and able to be planted right now, which I didn't have last year at all. And so that is incredibly exciting. So much more early spring planting this year than ever before. And so hopefully we get a really good spring crop, and then all of the summer crops will be going in, and the new garden bed will hopefully be built soon, and those will have all the squash in them. Hopefully I can actually get some pumpkins this year. Yeah, some other couple cool new things that will hopefully be developing over the next couple months. So until next time, bye!